Okay, so first off, shout out to my boy. My boy Jeff got me this very cool birthday gift. Shout out to my guy. I appreciate you. Not gonna say what sword this is. You guys should know. If you don't know, then I don't know what to tell you. So just want to start off with that. Also, Back Like We Never Left. One Piece chapter 1020 is not out, and the reason being is because of the Olympics. So it sucks. It really does suck. But now we have, an extra week where we can speculate about what could happen, right? I think overall 1019 was a pretty good chapter. It was pretty enjoyable, especially if you're a fan of Frankie or Sasaki.
Enemy chopper incoming.
I honestly don't know how many people are fans of Sasaki, but there are a lot of Frankie fans. And then, of course, the Zoro mentioned, Sanji mentioned, Luffy mentioned. So the monster trio, Sanji's already fighting. Luffy and Zoro, they're going to be back in the fight at some point. And then towards the end with Yamato and Kaido. So talking to my guys, man, there are a few things that I didn't mention in my discussion about the chapter, but I think it leads into the predictions really well, because this is what this is, right? One Piece chapter 1020 predictions. Also, if you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel because that helps me out a lot. Drop a like as well, because I would certainly appreciate it, right? But let's talk about 1020 and what we think is going to happen. So spoilers have been out for a while now, right? And it's been a task to try to avoid spoilers because sometimes people put fake spoilers so you don't know what's real. But especially for the prediction video, I made sure to try to avoid spoilers as much as possible, because the worst thing would be spoiling you guys by accident without even knowing it's an actual spoiler. So first thing, fights that are left. You think of Law, Big Mom, Kid, that's still going on. Robin, Brooke, Black Maria, because she seems to be the only Toby Ropo that's left. Because X Drake, he's on our side. Ulti and Page 1, they're done. Sasuke seems to be done. Who is done. So now we're only left with Black Maria. So if Oda's trying to get rid of that storyline, that plot point where all the Toby Ropo are done, then he can focus on the commanders. It makes sense for the next battle for him to focus on is Black Maria. Could throw a wrinkle in there and focus on some of the other battles, like what's going on with Hiroguro, what's going on with Perospero and Ashura Doji, well, Perospero and Nekomamushi, because it seems like he was going there, Inarashi and Jack, but that's a commander. So I think what makes sense is like maybe an update as to what's going on with the commanders, and then possibly wrapping up the Robin, Brooke, and Black Maria fight. The only thing though, because there's so many characters involved, Brooke and Robin and Black Maria, can that be wrapped up in one chapter?
How dare you?
Because what I've said in previous videos is that it would be Black Maria versus Robin while Brooke fights the others around them. Now, it seems like overkill, Brooke and Robin versus Black Maria, but I'm not sure how strong Black Maria is, right? We have no idea. So it could be a good matchup. Black Maria has a bunch of limbs as well, and Robin, she can sprout different limbs. So that's a great matchup. I'm just curious as to how Brooke falls in line. Like, what does Brooke actually do? So that's something, we gotta wait and see. Killer and Hawkins. That is still something that's out there that's going on. I don't want to be impatient, okay? But Hawkins, what are you waiting on? Just join our side. Now, we're not sure who the 1% man is. Remember when Hawkins talked about the man that 1%, all that different stuff? Who is that person? I mean, the obvious answer that a lot of us had was Luffy, but I'm thinking, could it be Zoro, right? Something that we have to come to terms with is that I think at this point, whatever hype Luffy's gonna get, Zoro's gonna get. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because Zoro, we've been following Zoro since the beginning of the story. He is not far behind Luffy, if behind Luffy. But anyway, so Zoro being the 1% guy, it's not crazy, but because of the story and how it typically plays out, it makes more sense to be Luffy. But is there anybody else that could be the 1% man that Hawkins predict? I find it hard to believe that Law or Kid could be that. More so Law than Kid, just because it seems like Kid just isn't necessarily the focus of things like this, right? Kid is portrayed as a rival of Luffy's, but it all comes down to narrative importance. And right now, I don't think Kid has as much narrative importance as much as I would like for him to, because I mentioned before, not because of the character, but because of what he can do as a thwart to Luffy, or for Luffy rather. But if I had to guess, Luffy's 1, Zoro 2, then maybe Law 3. Kaido versus Yamato. Is it time for that fight to be wrapped up? I'm thinking that fight could be wrapped up, but narratively, I could see it, a flashback in the middle of it, right? And then the fight wraps up, then Luffy comes in and probably saves Yamato. Luffy still isn't ready to fight, so I think right now, Yamato and Kaido has to continue. Maybe some more dialogue in between them, just giving us some intro into the backstory. Maybe that could be the next chapter, 1021. But I think it's too soon. Initially, I was thinking, okay, maybe that fight wraps up, but it's way too soon. Somebody had asked the question, like, okay, because of what Yamato is doing right now against Hybrid Kaido, does that basically remove her from joining the Straw Hat crew because she would be too powerful? I don't think that's the case at all, right? I think there's so many variables involved here with Kaido and Yamato, and, Kaido's saying, I'm not going to take it easy on you, and, it being his son. I think without us seeing it, we can speculate and say, well, Yamato is probably as strong as Luffy or stronger, but we know Yamato even said herself she has no chance against Kaido, and we know Luffy's going to defeat Kaido, so there's no way Yamato is as strong as Luffy. I'm not going to say Yamato is as strong as Zoro, maybe as strong as Sanji, maybe, maybe as strong as Jinbei. But even if you think she's stronger than them, I think they will surpass her by the end of Wano. I don't think she's stronger than Zoro at all. I say all that to say though, I don't think that gets in the way of Yamato joining the crew. It is an odd perspective because she's saying she wants to join the crew. She wants to go out and sail with Oden. And of course, the thing that stands in the way there is her knowing so much, or probably knowing too much. But we talked about it, and the conclusion is Oden probably didn't write down too much important information that doesn't have to do with things outside of Wano. Basically, everything that Oden wrote in the journal is going to be relevant by the end of Wano, meaning Yamato and her knowledge, she's not going to be too far ahead of anyone else by the end of Wano. Because for Oden, he was going outside of Wano to explore, to just see different things. But when you go out there and you find out more things about your specific country, you then hone in, because of course your heart, it belongs to your country. So I think Oden, of course, he wrote down things about his journeys and his travels, but ultimately I think it's going to be specifically relevant to Wano. And Wano being open, I think, is going to lead to some new information that's necessary for Luffy to become the Pirate King. So all the information that Yamato was privy to, Luffy will be privy to as well, but it's not going to impact or spoil, per se, Luffy becoming Pirate King or Luffy finding the One Piece. It's not what Rayleigh knows, right? Because Rayleigh telling them everything is like literally telling them the history of the world. I don't think Oden wrote down every single part of the history in his journal, just things important and relevant to him. We even said that Oden may have wrote in his journal, he laughed, right, about the One Piece, just writing about what Roger did to the One Piece. So we just gotta wait and see, but I don't think that's a particular good reason as to why Yamato would not join the crew. This may be a bit selfish, but I really want to see Marco versus King. I know a lot of people, myself included, I'm not too high on King right now because he hasn't really accomplished anything the entire arc, right? He's done some really good things, just not gonna take that away from him, right? Because there are moments in the story where I'm like, King is very impressive as a leader. But so far as a combatant, you know, it's just, we just haven't seen things. And we can't forget, Marco was fighting him and Queen by himself. So I'm looking forward to King versus Marco. My thing is, I think King does defeat Marco eventually, because Marco was fighting both of them at one point. Then King goes on to fight Zoro. My only thing is, how does Zoro get to the rooftop to fight Kaido again? Because I do think he does fight Kaido again. Not sure how it would work out. Do we have enough time for that to happen? I'm not sure. But I want to see King. I want to see what King does. Not saying King has a lot to live up to, because, you know, these are some things that we've placed on these characters ourselves. For instance, him being the first commander. I mean, he has the highest bounty out of all of Kaido's commanders, we presume. King, Queen, Jack, it just makes more sense, right? It's King, Queen, Jack. Why would Queen have a higher bounty than King? It's common sense, but the commanders aren't that different. I think the right-hand commanders get more focus, but so far it hasn't been the case for King, so I'm expecting some focus. And even beforehand, Oda did throw it out there that King, you know, is a special race, all that different stuff with Big Mom, very parallel to Shanks going on Whitebeard's ship and asking Marco to join his crew. Very different reasons, but it happened, right? Regardless of why they did it, it happened. So based on that, we have some expectations for King. Now, I don't want to downplay what King did to Big Mom and her crew, because the crew is still not at the top of the waterfall. Yes, King did it and Marco did it. So, you know, something as well, the Big Mom kids, right? Are they going to be relevant in Wano? No, not right now at least. I mean, because if Big Mom's children were in Wano and helping the Beast Pirates, narratively, it would be really difficult to justify things going as well as it is for the Alliance right now. Look at Nami, Ulti, and Big Mom, that entire scenario. Imagine if Smoothie was involved there. Like, how do they get out of that? So as much as I would like to see Big Mom's kids, the other kids outside of Katakuri and the Crackers, get some shine, especially Smoothie, I don't see how it would work because of just how many people are currently in the arc right now. And it doesn't seem like they need the Big Mom Pirates, because if they got them, those kids, it would be an overwhelming win. I mean, in my opinion, based on how things are going right now, they're already struggling. But if you add the Big Mom Pirates, that's a lot. Like I stated in my review of the last chapter, the formula has begun, right? It seems like the Flying Six are being taken out. Then after, we're going to go to the Commanders. And then while Luffy's fighting, maybe wrap up Zoro and Sanji fights. And then we get the final blow and all that different stuff. But the formula has been laid out. So that off of that, Brook and Nico Robin versus Black Maria seems apt. But Oda could throw a wrinkle in there. A wrinkle that I would love is if Oda goes outside of Wano. Doubtful, very doubtful, because I mean, timing, it really just doesn't make sense. You would kind of break the flow of the formula you started with Jinbei and Who's Who, then going to Sasuke and Frankie. It just makes more sense to flow right to Nico Robin and Black Maria. We haven't seen anything from that fight for the most part, so that makes a lot of sense. And then continuously give updates for everything else going on in the war. Maybe some CP0 dialogue, but damn, what's going on with Perospero and Nekomamushi? Because he's been getting there for a while. For sometimes characters get there immediately, then other times they take forever. And that's something that I think is taking forever. To be honest though, I would like for Luffy and Zoro to bounce back or be back upright, because I mean, The story is just more exciting when they're involved. So, you know. But guys, give me your thoughts. What do you think happens in chapter 1020? I'm expecting great things, okay? It's Wano, it's Onigashima. Let's hope for an amazing chapter. So guys, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.